ones know. So let's go. Yo, it's A-Train, you know the name. Salute when I cruise and C-bag, heavy boots dragging, but you know I'm still moving. My dude got my back, running late, I jumped out my rack. Chief yelling like a maniac on the attack. Mr. Morning Muster, late for the watch. First class walk past like, there go that biatch. Mine still muddy, posted from Boston 4, wondering if they ever gonna open up the store.
All right, guys, welcome back to After the Watch. You're riding with the train. And before we get started, I had a couple people ask me some questions about the last set of videos, which was when we was at the jobs program in the GSMA school. Well, the first part of the GSMA school, somehow or another, it duplicated itself. So you saw the first part when we were actually packing up, moving over. And then after the commercial, it kicked back to that portion again. Technology, that's all I can say. But basically, you get the gist of what went on, what transpired during that time. Okay, but I'm going to break it down just a little bit so you guys get caught up. So what you saw was week 4 was when I called my father, and you saw what transpired during that time. Okay, so prior to that, when we got to the GSMA school, I took the first test, failed it, had to do remedial study, went back later that evening, took the test again, passed it. Okay, the second test, same thing happened. Third test, same thing happened. So after the third test, they pulled me into the office and felt like that I wasn't actually retaining the information. They thought that I was like seeing the test, then studying what I got wrong, because we would go over the test, study what I got wrong, and then take the test again and miraculously pass the test. I can understand that logic, but at the same time, that wasn't the case. And that's when I got frustrated, because they felt like they said, if I do that one more time, then they were going to kick me out and just send me to the fleet undesignated. Okay. So that's when the fourth test came about, and then you guys are caught up now. But I don't know why they didn't record it correctly, but that's what happened. All right. So great. I passed. I graduated. It was time to ride to the crib and finally see my family. I hadn't been home in over a year and some change. Okay, so this is my first time actually being home. This is the first time they get a chance to see me all fit and in shape, because I did a lot of push-ups in boot camp. I did a lot of push-ups, and we did a lot of running, a lot of exercises. So I was actually in shape when I came home for the first time. They send you over to personnel where you get your, I put in for 30 days leave. And for that 30 days, they said, well, you have to check on to your duty station at this date. Okay. So they gave me a plane ticket home, and then they gave me a set of plane tickets to my next duty station, which was in San Diego. So back in those days, what would happen is once you get all of your, you pack up your stuff, put everything in your seat bag, and you're off. But during those days, you didn't travel in civilian clothes like we do today. Well, like they do today, because I'm out now. But I'm still, once it's in your heart, you're always in the military. You're always in the Navy, okay? That it is what it is. But back during those times, you had to travel in your dress uniform. This, okay? It's like a tradition. That's the best way to explain it. It's like a tradition because way before I joined, they was traveling in the uniforms, and people get to see that you're in the Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Coincidentally, I want you guys to leave a comment. Which uniform do you think are the best uniforms? Okay. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Okay. Coast Guard also. Okay. Coast Guard. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think are the best dress uniforms. Okay. Now, for me personally, I think the Marine Corps has the best uniforms because, I mean, man, they sharp. That's a sharp uniform right there. However, the most iconic uniform is the Navy. You can't beat this uniform right here. So I get my ticket, I got my seat bag, and I'm waiting on the shuttle to take us back to the airport. So we get back to the airport. I check in at the USO, let them know I'm back. You know, they like, oh, okay, yada, yada. I said, y'all remember me? When I said slick, they instantly remember and say, "Oh, you're back! Welcome back! Congratulations, you passed," and everything like that. So it was a great celebration. So I'm waiting on my flight. They tell me to board and everything. So we board, we get on. Routine flight is when I land at RDU. So we land at RDU, and I call my brother. I don't know why I did that, but I did anyway. I ain't seen my brother in a while, so I called my brother. I was like, "Yo, bro, this is before cell phones again. Yo, bro, come pick me up. I'm at the airport." They're like, "All right, bet. I'm on my way." So I'm waiting at the airport. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I call back. "Yo, what's up? Hey, man, you coming to get me? Where you at? I'm waiting on you. I'm at the airport waiting on you." All right, man. I thought you was on your way to the airport, on the other O'Hare. I said, "No, man, I'm at RDU. Come pick me up." They're like, "All right, bet. I'm on my way." Another 30 minutes go by. People walking past me. I'm in my uniform. So they're like, "Are you okay? Are you waiting on your ride? You've been out here for a long time. Are you thirsty? You want something to drink? You want something to eat?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm just waiting on my brother, and sure enough, this is in the 90s. This is when, okay, so if you think you hear loud music before, this is what loud music really is. And that's when he came and picked me up, bumping hard, car full of smoke like Cheech and Chong, okay, literally. As him and his friend, which I'm not gonna mention his name, but they pull up. I was so embarrassed. When they opened up the door, smoke bellowed out of the car, just like you just saw. I was so embarrassed. And I'm in my uniform. So now it's crowds of people walking by, and they're grabbing my bags and just throwing them in the car. And they're like, "Come on, man, let's go. We gotta go. They rushing me. I am so embarrassed. I'm like, "Man, I can't believe you guys did this, So it was so funny. It was hilarious. We jump in the car, and people just like shaking their heads, like, And I'm in the military. I'm in my uniform, mind you. So now I'm in this car. When I say it's full of smoke, it's not tobacco. It's not tobacco. Okay. I'm like, I roll the window down. They're like, no. Remind you, I haven't been around this in over a year. So my lungs are relatively clean. Okay. I'm like, "Man, I can't breathe. Well, like, calm down." So then it kicked in, I was like, "Oh man, oh my goodness. I hope I don't fail the drug test." That's how bad it was. It was thick cloud of smoke in there, okay? And they got the music loud as it could go, bumping hard. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So it's crazy. It's a mess, okay? But they get me to my destination. I tell them to drop me off at the house. I want to see mom and pop. So they drop me off. They peel out. They go to go do their thing. They're like, "We'll catch up with you. We'll catch up with each other later." I would never tell them when I'm coming home. So when I walk through the door, they be like, "Hey, what you doing here?" Stuff like that. So I used to shock them and, surprise them all the time, when I just pop in. So that's what I did for the first time. And I'm in my white uniform. And so I pop in and I get a big old hug. They're like, "You smell like smoke. You been smoking?" Now they give me the third drink. "You're in the military. You're in the Navy. What are you doing smelling like this stuff?" Right? I said, my brother, he was the one that dropped me off. It was in the car, not me. It's just on my clothes. Well, we got to do something about that. Take that off. You got to go take a shower. You got to take that, take that. I said, "Well, I can't take the uniform off because I want to show everybody, I was clean. I was sharp. I had my uniform and everything." So I was like, I just want to show everybody the uniform and, let them see me and everything. So here they go with Lysol, just spraying me down. Turn around. Spraying me down. Trying to get that smell off of me, So they tossed me the keys to the car. So instantly, the first thing I did was I wanted to go see my grandmother, okay? Because she didn't believe that I was going to join in the first place. And until she see me in this uniform, I don't think she thought that I actually joined. She probably thought I was just somewhere up and down the street somewhere, okay? I drive over to my grandmother's house, knock on the door. "Hey, baby, look at you." I'm in my uniform. I'm looking all sharp and everything, give my grandmama a hug. just tell her, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And she was like, I just heard, just saw your brother just ride past with all that loud music going on. I said, yes, ma'am. But so we sat and talked for a little bit because I knew I was going to catch up with them later on down the night because I already knew where they were going to end up being at the hangout spot. I can't tell y'all that. That's top secret. Can't tell you where our hangout spot was during that time. But anyway, so hang out with with my grandmother and everything, show her the uniform. I hang out, get a bite to eat, take a lot of pictures and everything. We laugh and joke and had a good time. My aunt was over there. And everybody, we had a good time. So then it was time for me to roll out. It's getting about time for me to go, catch up with my brother. So we hang out about an hour and a half over there. So then I go over to my great aunt house. So she's hanging out, everybody's cooking. This is the South. They cook, we eat, we have a good time. Hey guys, are you tired of that same old vacation? Well, let Ready for All Travel level it up a bit. I'm Richard, your personal travel agent, and I specialize in unforgettable Carnival and Royal Caribbean cruises. I became a travel agent because of the amazing experiences I've had exploring the world. And now I want you to feel the same joy, excitement, and peace of mind every time you travel. I once had a client tell me that they didn't need my help planning their own dream vacation. They were just going to wing it. They spent thousands of dollars, and when they got home, they told me it was a disaster. Poor scheduling, missed experiences, and unnecessary stress. They said they wish they had booked with me. Don't let that be you. From cruises to hotels, theme parks to full vacation packages, I got you covered. As your travel agent, I will find the best deals and take care of every detail. So all you have to do is show up and enjoy. Visit readyforalltravel.com, call or text me at 984-400-8020, or email me at info@readyforalltravel.com. Let's plan something unforgettable together. Again, that's readyforalltravel.com at 984-400-8020. A venture awaits. Let's make it unforgettable with Ready for All Travel. And as always, may your path be clear, your sails steady, and your adventures extraordinary. From all of us at Ready for All Travel, cheers. So I pull up in my uniform. They're like, oh, everybody run out, give me a hug and everything. They're like, nice. I'm looking sharp, I'm looking clean. It made you feel good, So they want to find out where I'm going next and, and stuff like that. Want to kick it with me and hang out. So I kicked it with them for about an hour or so. So then it was time for me to, it was about, I say it was later on. It was almost like maybe 6 o'clock by this time, 7 o'clock. So I'm a little tired, but at the same time, I know it's the first day. I told them I'll catch up with them later. I got to go change, and I'm still in the back of my mind, go kick it with my brother for a little bit. So we ride out. I ride out, and I go back to the house, hang out with the parents. They mom to cook food and everything. So I grab a bite to eat then there. So that's 3 meals I did. Ate at my grandmother's house, ate at my great aunt house, and now I'm at home eating. So I got a belly full, right? Okay. So we eat, I take a shower, then I get to change into my civilian clothes for the first time in a very long time. I change into my street clothes. All right. I knew where my brother was at. This is, like I say, cell phones are in play, but during this time, you had to wait till a certain time during the week before you could actually turn your cell phone on. You didn't have an unlimited plans like you do today. Okay. So if you answer that call at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday, oh, that Roman was going to get you. It was going to bite you. So people always wait till after 6 o'clock, and then they would use their cell phone until, 5 o'clock in the morning. Then you turn it off all day until 6 o'clock again, and so on and so forth. And then you have free weekends. Okay, so over the weekend is when you can use the phone. So Friday after 6, you can use your cell phone with no problems. So I called my brother, verified where they was at. They told me, yeah, we over here waiting on you, blah, blah, blah. So I get, changed and everything, and I head over to the spot. So when I get to the spot, it's all my homeboys. Everybody's there. All his partners are there. My partners are there. And there are beverages of our choice, our favorite beverages along with a lot of other things at the same time. Needless to say, okay, we're at the park. And that's all I'm going to tell you right there. We're at the park, okay? And we're catching up. They want to know how everything went down. We know what it was all like, how was Chicago, and so I'm explaining to them, and we're having a great time. We're enjoying the festivities. Okay, mind you, I don't condone having a good time and then getting behind the wheel. It's a big no-no. Don't ever do that. I would never tell you guys to do this. Don't do that. Don't do it. Different era, different time. Don't do it. Okay. Now, so with that being said, we had a good time that night. All right. Wrapped it up, called it a night. Everybody was about to go do their thing. So we planned on meeting up the next day. So now I'm going to fast forward because it was basically rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And that's what I did those first couple of days. I was on 30 days leave, but during those 30 days, I had to work at my recruiting office for those 7 days to get those 7 days back. Okay. So that following Monday, I'm fast forwarding. Okay. So now it's time for me to show up and work for my recruiter. So during those 7 days, as I was working, well, I think it's 5 days, 7 days. It was a work week, Monday through Friday. Okay. So it was 5 days. During those 5 days, I basically was helping them do paperwork, talking to the new recruits that was about to join, giving them a heads up of what to expect, telling them some of my stories, what I was doing. Same thing I'm sharing with you guys, giving them the updates and stuff like that. And then at the same time, we would go out and, we'll go to the high schools, talk to some high schoolers, we'll go to the colleges, talk to some people at the colleges, get a bite to eat. And I was basically seeing what his job was entailing. Little did I know that I would eventually become a recruiter myself. But at that same time, it was pretty cool to come back, see how things have changed, see what's going on, let them know how I'm doing, how classes were, and how I was adapting to the Navy life. So it was pretty cool. All right. Okay, so I was spending that quality time with my family because it was getting closer for my flight to head to San Diego. So out of those 30 days, I'm ripping and running the streets and everything. So it was like, okay, I need to spend some time with my parents too. So I was kicking it with them, hanging out with them at the same time during this time. I was sitting down talking with my father. Okay, and we was having like a reminisce moment because he's proud. He was in the Army. Okay, I'm in the Navy. Different branches, but at the same time, he's proud that I'm actually serving. We would sit down, we was talking, and he was explaining to me. Now, this is kind of a little serious, a little bit, guys. So, pay attention to what I'm talking about right here. He was explaining to me how it was in the segregated South during his time in Vietnam. Okay. And how he had to catch the bus. He was explaining to me how he had to catch the bus from Raleigh, North Carolina to California. Okay. And then from California, he caught a flight to Anchorage, Alaska. And he was stationed in Anchorage, Alaska. And from Alaska, that's where he went to Vietnam. So he's explaining to me how that trip was and how he was, country boy from North Carolina, how he's seen things that he would never thought that he would see in his lifetime. So he's experiencing this journey, but he told it so eloquently. I had one of those nostalgic moments where I felt like, you know what if I was decide to turn in my perfectly good plane ticket? Plane ticket ain't done nothing. Perfectly good seat. How about if I turn in my plane ticket and exchange it for a bus ticket and ride the same path that my father rode on his way to California? I know, right? Touching, isn't it? I know, I'm that guy. I am that guy. It was very touching. It looked good on paper, y'all. It sounded good in my mind. And it felt good in my heart. Or was that indigestion? Like I said before, it sounded good. It felt good. Hoo-wee. I went back over to the airport, turned in my perfectly good plane ticket, got the money back, went all the way down there. It was back in those days, there was only 2 buses. It was either Greyhound or Trailways. I can't remember which one I was on at the time. I just know I was on the bus, okay? So as I'm requesting this bus ticket to California, San Diego, the I don't know what they call it, the guy at the terminal, he's looking at me. He's like, "You going all the way to California?" I'm like, "Yeah, California, please. San Diego, 32nd Street, California." Telling you. When he put it in and started printing out these passes, bus passes, it was a stack about that big. Because every place that you pull into, I had to give them that token, that ticket. So when I left here, we went to the next location, I had to give them a ticket. Give them that ticket, show them I'm supposed to be on the bus. That was our way to vouch that I was supposed to be on that particular bus. Okay. Or I would have to get off that bus, go to another bus, and get on that bus, and give them the ticket and stuff like that. So I come back home and I say, "Hey, Pop, guess what I did?" I said, "What's that?" I said, "I turned in my plane ticket for a bus ticket." He said, "You did what?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to catch the bus across the United States, just like you did." He looked at me like I was he said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." He said, "Okay, that's on you. You know, just make sure you get there on time." So my last couple of days, I spent it with the family. Now, mind you, I told you, the way we traveled back then, we had to travel in our uniforms. So I'm back in my uniform, and I'm heading to San Diego, California. Before we leave, my mother makes me a couple of sandwiches. I had a couple bottles of water, and I'm on my way to San Diego. I ate a big meal prior to leaving. Last time, with the family, okay? Get on the bus. We're off and riding. Now, I purposely neglected to tell you guys this until now. The bus ride from Raleigh, North Carolina to San Diego, California, 7 days. Now, let that sink in for a second. I was on the bus for 7 days. I normally don't do this, tell you guys what to do and what not to do. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you got you a plane ticket, take that plane or train. Don't do the bus. And I'm going to explain to you why. That bus ride was something else. I'm not going to take you stop to stop. I'm just going to hit the key points, okay? We leave out of Raleigh. Our first destination, our first stop, technically, because we have little small stops all along the way. But the next major city that we stopped in was Atlanta, Georgia, okay? I would love to say that during this journey, I was like this. But in actuality, I was green, okay? I became like that eventually, but right now I was green. So I have my uniform on, my dress uniform on. I stick out like a sore thumb. I'm a target. Just paint a big giant bullseye on my back, on my front, on my forehead, because I'm a target. And that's probably one of the reasons why we don't travel that way anymore.
Rank on my sleeve, but it goes unseen. I was young, I was raw, now I walk like a king. I'm the story they ain't telling in the promo vid. I'm the truth from the hole that they tried to rid. Honor, courage, commitment is what I gave. Through every storm I hit, I stood strong and brave. Now I spit what I live without the fame. This ain't for clout, it's the A-Train name. Salute up, this one's for the vets. Respect the journey, never forget. A-Train out. Don't so, A-Side. Salute up, this that life they don't show from